Hey everyone, welcome. The penny's finally dropped, the man has finally cracked, and he's now saying what we've known all along.
The core is rotten, and I can behold the tide.
And this is Dr. John Campbell doing a complete U-turn on the mRNA jibby-jabby, and he's now saying what everybody should be saying and what we've been saying from day one, and that is that these jabs are experimental, they're causing more harm than good and should be stopped immediately and until hard evidence is produced. Have a listen to what he says.
Welcome to this talk. My name's John Campbell. I'm a semi-retired clinical nurse lecturer, academic, researcher, author of numerous articles and 2 textbooks. My specialism are human physiology.
So that's the credentials out of the way. He's not actually a doctor as such, he's a trainer of doctors. So one better in my honest opinion.
And pathophysiology as applied to clinical practice. I've also produced many educational videos which are used extensively around the world. In my view, the UK health authorities should pause the current COVID-19 mass vaccine rollout programme.
There you heard it. Pause. I'd actually cancel it altogether until something is investigated fully, because let's be honest, if he's saying these things now, it means that the evidence is stacking up and stacking up and stacking up that would require this action.
Due to the risks associated with the vaccines. As time has passed since the early days of 2020, the number of patients hospitalised with COVID-19 infections has continued to decline since its peak in previous waves. This is clearly seen in data published by the UK government and the Office for National Statistics. In addition, the proportion of patients in hospital with COVID-19 is now greater than the patients admitted to hospital for COVID-19. This is true for general hospital admissions as well as intensive care admissions.
Now that is shocking, isn't it? Isn't it, everyone? What was this classed as recently? Conspiracy theory? What sort of problems did people have that stated this might be an issue? Cancellation, silencing, removal from platforms, removal from the public square, etc, etc, etc. Oh, and let's not forget, smeared in the media.
In other words, most COVID positive patients admitted to hospital now are incidental and were not admitted purely for complications of COVID.
So a lot weaker strain then. And yet they're still pushing the jibby-jabby.
As a
now even to children.
result of mass infections during the various waves of the pandemic, especially the huge numbers of people infected with the Omicron variant, most people have developed levels of natural immunity to the virus. This natural infection also generates mucosal compartment immunity in the respiratory tract, which the injected vaccines do not. While prior infection does not always prevent symptomatic disease, it does provide levels of protection against severe disease and hospitalisation.
Which is exactly what we were saying from the beginning, wasn't it, everyone? Your immune system will deal with this. It will get stronger as needs be. We don't need to be supplementing our immune systems with a jibby-jabby that wasn't fully tested. And look where we are now.
This means the overall risk from COVID-19 infection with SARS coronavirus 2 is significantly less than it was when the vaccination programs were first instigated. However, the risks associated with ongoing vaccinations are probably the same as they were in the early stages of the pandemic and mass vaccination programs. If I am correct in this evaluation, this means that the risk of COVID-19 infection has gone down, while the risk of vaccination remains the same. This means that the risk of COVID-19 infection has gone down, while the risk of vaccination remains the same.
At this point, I would like to remind people of the media and the government and all of the power and the narratives push and push and push to ostracise us for saying exactly the same things right at the very beginning. Isn't it amazing, everyone, how non-medical scientist type people like ourselves could see through this from day dot? But all of these scientists and doctors and nurses and all of the MPs and media and twatterati were forcing this down our throats.
This fundamentally alters the risk-benefit analysis of this current mass vaccination programme. I therefore consider that the UK government authorities should pause the current mass vaccination programme until a full population scale risk-benefit analysis is carried out and published for free and open peer review.
Now, this should have been done from day one, should it not? We should have all been given the information we needed to make a, what's the phrase that they like to say? Informed decision. Informed being the operative word. If this wasn't done previously, how could you have made an informed decision? What this is actually proving is that there's no such thing as informed decisions. It was just narrative and push and smear and control. There you go. Control.
I further call on the UK authorities to review the intramuscular injection technique used in the delivery of the mRNA vaccines. Currently, after insertion of the needle, the syringe is not aspirated to ensure the tip of the needle is not in a blood vessel. This leaves open the possibility of inadvertent intravascular administration.
Now, if you're not too sure what that means, what it actually means is when you put an injection in, you actually pull and draw some of the blood through into the needle so you can see it, so that you know that you've not injected into a blood corpuscle and you're actually into the bloodstream. The way it's been done since day dot.
Resulting in systemic spread of the mRNA vaccine particles in seconds. This would mean that mRNA vaccine particles would circulate in relatively undiluted form through vessels of the major organs of the body.
Now, I feel sorry for John here, to be honest. This is his entire profession and his entire life's work being proven to be, and I will say it, corrupted from the core. This proves, in my honest opinion, that the medical profession and the science profession needs to be, like all of other institutions in this rapidly crumbling West, needs to be removed and reformed, root and branch. No exceptions, in my honest opinion, but I'd like to know your opinion on that one.
This video is specific to current mRNA vaccines. I continue to promote the massive benefit of other forms of vaccination in the UK and around the world. Thank you for watching.
Now, as I say, this must be really, really difficult for John. This is his entire profession being demolished from the inside, isn't it? And what makes it so shocking at the minute, even with them recording Lurgit as with instead of, still there's more harm being done than good. This, in my honest opinion, is the biggest travesty, the biggest scandal this nation has ever seen. And I think Dr. John has done as good a job as he possibly can, but it is something that we forewarned right from the very beginning, isn't it? Let me know what you think, though. I'd like to know your opinion on this one. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the like, comment, subscribe. You know what to do. Stay sane. See you on the next one.